Hello friends, I'm Kenny and I'm an artist. I'm not actually sure where I'm going with this channel. I just figured that I like to draw and I've been drawing for a while and people might be interested in seeing what I can do and I could give little tips and tricks I've learned as I've tried to draw. What you can see I'm doing there, it's not actually focusing on the art in this video. I wanted to do more of an introduction than anything. So that is actually following just a few prompts from one of those 30-day drawing challenges, except I'm not doing it day by day because whenever I try to start one of those, I always end up forgetting a day halfway through and then everything just kind of falls apart from there. But the first prompt was to draw yourself, so I'm drawing myself in my more cartoonish style. I really like cartooning, so you will see me doing that a lot if I continue this. Like I said, I've been drawing for quite some time. I actually am going to try to pursue a career in art, which is going to be a lot of fun. I've learned a lot from just classes I've taken and just trying to figure it out on my own, which I think is important for every artist to do. We all have to try to find our own style, you know? Sorry for the shoddy camera work. You can really tell this is my first time doing this. What you could see I was doing was I started off really light with a colored pencil to work out where I wanted things to be before I actually started drawing those. So at the moment, there's a lot of sketch lines you can really see, but I'm starting to fill in more of what the line artwork would be. I normally do things very traditional art. I don't actually own a tablet, so anything you see me drawing that's digital art will actually be on a sketchbook app, the sketchbook app on my phone, which took a little while to get used to, but that's the only digital medium I have at the moment, so that's what I'm using. Now that the basic line work is done, you can see I'm starting to fill in some different details. The day I drew this, I was wearing a striped shirt, so that was good. Oh, hair. Okay, one thing you really need to notice about hair, it helped me so much figuring out how to do this. You do not draw every single line in the hair. That is a huge mistake a lot of beginner artists do, and I did a few times myself. Hair itself, when you're looking at it, groups itself in bunches of lighter shades and darker shades based on the shading. So as long as you have the groups of darker and the groups of lighter, and all your lines focus in the way the hair is going, then you'll be good. I'm adding in some shading now. You really want to make sure you know where the light source is coming from. That will, be shading. I'm so awkward and I apologize for that, but I'm going to do my best to get better at this. You can see what I'm doing here is if you want a more even shade, you do circular pencil strokes. It'll make things better. And don't be afraid to get darker in some areas. Okay, so the next thing here, you can see I fixed how I was holding my phone camera. The next prompt was a robot. So I drew this happy little robot. I've doodled it before. It's a cute little thing. I started drawing just with doodles mostly in middle school, junior high-ish kind of age, and found I really liked it. I mean, I'd always loved to draw. I think every little kid does. And I began to do it, and with the support of the people around me, my friends and my family, and even, other students who, peering over my shoulders, goes, "Oh, what are you drawing?" I kept at it. And everyone told me that I was pretty good and I should keep at it. And I'm very grateful to those people because I was actually awful back then and it was just them giving me encouragement. I keep most of my old art, almost all of it. And every once in a while I go through it to kind of see how far I've grown and gain inspiration from past things I've done. It's very, very cringeworthy, almost all of it. But I'd say keeping your art is a very good thing to do. Try not to throw away your art, or at least have pictures or copies of it, because that will help you a lot in reference if you're trying to draw something you've drawn before, or knowing where you've grown, or looking back at slightly more recent things to see how you can grow towards the future. So I'm starting to do his eyes. I went for a little kind of lens feel, gave it a little highlights. This eye, I messed it up just a little bit. You got to be very aware of your highlights, where you're going to put them, because you can't really erase colored pencil. The color pencils I like to use are the Prismacolor Premiers. Right now I'm using their very thin pencils. Prismacolors are very nice and very high quality. They can be a bit more expensive than most other pencils, but as long as you have something and you're trying to draw and it works for you, have at it. I prefer the Prismacolor because of how smoothly the pigment goes down. It's very easy to make the color smooth and to blend the pencils together, which I really like. Colored pencils is one of my favorite mediums to use, even though I use quite a lot. So you can see I'm shading here. Since this robot is a little more, well, it's a cone, most of the shape, you want to have the lines in which you're shading following that form. So you can see I had the highlights, the light source be more at the front, so I shaded a bit on both sides of the face and the body. And there's my happy robot, just about done. There we go. Or wait, no. Don't be afraid to go back and revise your work even after you think it's done. Although, don't spend too much time. A lot of times, things are just done, and you have to make sure it's done. More shoddy camera work, sorry about that. The next prompt was to draw a book, so I will be drawing that. One of the great things about being able to do art is that once you draw something once, you have a framework to build that up from the future. When I was in middle school, I mostly liked to draw dragons. I'm over that phase now, even though I still think dragons are super cool. I also like drawing things like books and such as that. And I liked the idea of like an old tomish looking book, open, with the pages all everywhere and such as that. So I doodled that quite a bit, and I'm using that kind of frame of reference for this work. There, the camera's fixed now. Yay! So you can see that I have the book open. Now the pages usually don't lie flat in a book because they're all bound at that one point and you're trying to press them open. The inside near the spine will flare up a bit and the pages will kind of fall outwards in a bit of a curve. I added a cool bookmark because I think, they're cool. Bookmarks are cool, especially the kinds that are built into the spine. I love books and I love reading and I love storytelling, and that's what I really like to do with my art. I like to tell a story with it. So you can see I'm adding a few more lines for the pages. You don't have to go and draw every single individual page because, well, one, with the thickness of the pencil to the size of the drawing, that just would not work. It would not work. You can see I've done a little bit of variations in the corners, like one of the pages is a little bit flipped. It gives the image a little more interest to it. It makes it a little more interesting. And I'm shading the bookmark now. You can see I've made it a little darker where the bookmark is flipped around a bit. So yes. I have been taking some art classes that have helped a lot. I would say, I wasn't quite sure what to write in there. Decided not to write anything. Once I started realizing that I've been drawing enough to actually, focus on that. People encouraged me to take art classes my school provided, so I did, and it's helped a lot. Taking an art class is invaluable. It really helps you so much to consider things you never considered to do in your art. The next prompt that I was given was a ladybug. Well, not a ladybug, an insect, but I decided to go for a ladybug because I like ladybugs. They're cool. But I didn't want to go with just a generic ladybug just kind of sitting there, I decided to go for a slightly more interesting, having its wings be kind of in the middle of unfurling, like it's about to fly off. So you can see instead of starting with just the line work, I also started shading as well. It really doesn't matter what you do first, as long as it's a process that works for you. Or maybe it doesn't matter to you and you do whatever you want to do. Each artist has their own style and their own preferred everything. It's okay to be different from other people, and it's okay to be the same, because your art is personal to you. You shouldn't let other people tell you what to do. You shouldn't let other people try to define you, because you're the only one who can do that to your art. And I think that's really cool. So you can see I'm adding some kind of almost diamond or triangular shapes to the wings to give it that kind of look. And the wings being transparent, you can kind of see the body underneath a bit, so I'm shading it a little lighter than I would have done if it was just the body. So with shading, I'm giving the shell, do you call it a shell? A little bit of dimension there, and fixing up the wings a bit. Now, I do more than just doodles. One of the art classes I completed recently was AP art, so I figured before I end this video, because it's getting a bit long, I would show you a few examples of what I've done recently to prove that I can indeed do the art. These are a few I've submitted in my AP Studio Art portfolio, and I'm pretty proud of them. If I don't want to sound like a braggart, but I am pretty proud. So thank you for bearing with me, and have a great day.